Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games and welcome back to part 3 of my Qing campaign here in Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich. Armament Department seeks asylum. The civil war in Sichuan has ended and our allies in the Armament Department have been defeated by the Baoding Department. Fleeing possible retribution by Ding Zhuo, the leadership of the former ruling clique of Sichuan have arrived, seeking to serve our armed forces with the hope that one day perhaps returning to their home province. So this is only giving me a negative. I'm not sure why. Let's try to get a look here. 6. Okay. Let's see if we get any new commanders. Say, old friends are always welcome here. Or is this strictly a Stephen the 10th? Surrenders church control over the government to a secular institution. My goodness, I can't remember the last time I saw Stephen the 10th elected. Wow, Cardinal de la Costa. Gonna set up those soup kitchens and whatnot. He used to be one of the paths to peacefully uniting Italy. Of course, it's far too many factions for that sort of thing now. Interesting though. Okay, so do we get any new generals? 6. I don't think we did. Pretty sure we did not. So we might have just spent that political power for nada. Yeah. What's up with that? Okay, a clandestine meeting. Oh, that's right. We've got options here because of how things have played out. In the basement of a shady Beijing bar, traditionally used as a cover for revolutionary activities, a strange coalition of individuals dedicated to overthrowing Wu Puifei and his rule over China have gathered. First is Puji, the emperor's brother and a general in the army, one of the few non-Zhili generals allowed to command significant numbers of troops. Next to him, since Y.C. James Yen, a leading intellectual and head of the NCR. Across from him sits Feng Zhizhan and Ling Bang, two Baoding candidates scarcely older than 25. I don't think they actually appear here, though, do they? What are their names? Feng Zhian. Yeah, he's not there, and Ling Bin, I think, is also not here. The final member of the meeting is Zhili General Li Bingzhi, who is he is here, I'm sure of that. No? Odd. Sworn he was there. A monarchist, Bingzhi claims to have assembled a coalition of Zhili generals disgruntled with Wu's actions over the last few months. Realizing they are unable to beat the Zhili clique on their own with their limited military resources, the leaders decide they must ask the leader of a neighboring warlord clique for assistance. After much deliberation, they choose... I don't think we want to go with Tian. We're gonna pass on that because I'm gonna play as him one day, so I'll save talking about him for when I play as him. We're gonna go with Yan Jishan here instead in Zhanji. Okay, so famine has broken out in Sichuan. It just is really bad. So Yan Jishan, because I think this was something I noticed before. He doesn't have there's no bio of him. Basically, he's yet another warlord from this time period, and held Shanji for an extremely long period of time. Actually, I think he held it almost for 40 years continuously. Ever since the Xinhai Revolution happened in 1911 until the communists won the Chinese Civil War. And yeah, it was a poor province, it was really remote, but the guy was a survivor, because think about that. 1911 to 1941, that means he got through the ending of the Qing, Yuan Shikai, and his declaring of the new empire of China, the Kuomintang, the Japanese invading, the pre- and post-World War II Chinese Civil War, and things like that. Anyway. Governor Yan's response. Okay, we have to... Yeah, I think I know what we have to do here. He's replied to a request while he's interested in helping. He says he can only do so if the coup plotters convince him. The marshal is well known to be a humble and industrious man who wants the best for his people, though an offer of personal power may also be attractive to him. So he was all about modernizing China. He wasn't somebody who was like xenophobic in regards to you know, Western technologies and things like that, especially when he was from such a poor province. I'm sure he would have taken anything he could get. So we're going to tell him that we're going to modernize China and the monarchy. So in case it's not clear, right now we're trying to coup Wu Peifu. That is the aim at the moment. It's a self-coup. We're trying to get the Zhili clique out. You could alternatively set it up so that this coup doesn't work and the Zhili clique stays in power, so then that's when you can get these parts of the tree. And Qing will actually no longer be called Qing. It will turn black. I think it turns black. And you are the Zhili clique. So if you want a black China, that's kind of interesting. Also, just how that plays out. Marshal Yan has accepted the coup plotter's request for aid. He agrees he will deploy his troops should the Zhili clique not be fully destroyed in the coup. At the same time, however, he will probably demand concessions once Puyi has been restored to his proper position. However, for right now, excellent. What a frickin' mess this is down here. I think the Nanjing clique has actually started taking control of the situation. If they can knock out the Anqing, they still have a two-front war. It's going to get interesting. Grave news, sire! It appears that Liu Zhang has defeated our ally Yang Xin in Sichuan. Well, this is a major... I think that's just an automated message, because I think wasn't there already somebody who beat him before? So this is now the third leader. Well, this is a major loss to the Zhili clique. The province is industrially poor and military overstretched. Should they join any opposing faction, we will crush them. And of course, you can check the different Chinese factions here. Whoa, almost clicked something. But yeah, like, you know, the left Kuomintang is, of course, the head of the left Kuomintang. The Federalists are down in Lingguang. Hunan hasn't aligned with anyone yet. Mongolia is doing its own thing. We're still technically unaligned. Most of this is still unaligned. Anyway. Ominous troop movements. Unusual troop movements have been reported from Jiangxi province over the last few days. So now we're Wu again. It appears the troops are preparing for some sort of military action on our border, with our informants reporting that supplies and equipment are being stockpiled near the mountain passes out of Jiangxi. Governor Yan Jishan was our enemy just a few years ago during the Fourth Zhifeng War. An attack from him in these turbulent times to try and regain his lost lands would not be out of character. Oh, we have more pressing matters to attend to. There's nothing to worry about, right? Oh yeah, we're fine. Everything's great. Reports of the demise have been greatly exaggerated. We're good. We're set. Ah, Second Russian Civil War. Just 20 years ago, and you guys know what this is. Interesting. Wrangel could get really big, really fast, depending on how some of these things play out. Could come down here to the Caucasus, for example. Great, we've got our better infantry equipment now up and running. Alright, next up, industry, and I'm gonna do the construction now. Actually, let's pick up radio. You guys know me, if I don't get radio early, I just never really get around to it. If Kuomintang has reached the borders of the Hunan and Lingguang cliques, isolated a little section of Nanjing down here. Yeah, looks like the Nanjing are going down. That's a tough one. Very tricky campaign. The civil war in Sichuan has ended, and our allies in the armament department have been defeated by the industrial corps. Fleeing possible retribution by Liu Jiang, the leadership of the former ruling clique of Sichuan has arrived, seeking to serve our armed forces with the hope of one day perhaps returning to our home province. Didn't we already get this? This time I'm going to say find a new home. Yeah, so there have been 2 coups. Effectively. Oops. Yeah, so I know a lot of these are already ready to go, but we're still just leaving it be for right now. I want to wait until I've actually gotten in charge of the people I want to be in charge. Then we'll carry on. Oh, there was something I was going to talk about earlier, way back in the first episode, when I was talking about that earthquake that hit Jiangxi clique. So that happened in the late 1500s, and there was actually a Portuguese, because by this time Europeans were hanging out in China and Japan and stuff. There was actually a Portuguese friar who, I don't know if he was there when the earthquake happened, but I think he might have shown up just after. And he wrote accounts and witness testimonies of what the earthquake was like. But he kind of condemned the Chinese. His guards like, well, yeah, they don't believe in God, and that's their punishment. But he did think that earthquake was a sign of the end times, like Revelations was going to happen. Because I think there is a part of Revelations that talks about an earthquake which kills an enormous population. Anyway, mysterious occurrences. Worrying news. It appears over the last few days, anti-Gili and anti-German pamphlets have been discovered distributed amongst some of our troops. When asked where they received this from, none were able to give a straight answer, with most saying it just appeared overnight. Even more worrying, several Gili generals have dropped out of conflict with Luoyang over the last few hours, including Li Bingzi, whose monarchist sympathies are well known. Even worse, Baoding Military Academy appears to have been abandoned overnight. Communications with far-flung parts of the empire have been interrupted due to widespread radio and telephone outages. What's going on here? We lose command power and authoritarian democracy gets weaker. Harmony Association not looking too hot right now. Well, that's it into the Nanjing. Now the Anqing clique and Left Kuomintang are going to immediately go to war. I've seen this drag on and on in the past. The Anqing clique should in theory win it. But you never know with the AI. I see now they've split themselves. They're also going at war with Qing Tianguo. It's getting a little weird out here. Still just building that infrastructure. A summons to Beijing. While Wu is attempting to process the alarming developments that have occurred over the last few days, an urgent telegram arrived from Beijing. Cao Kun and Wu have been summoned to a meeting with the emperor over the state of the country. Widespread riots are still a daily occurrence, and while the emperor technically has the constitutional prerogative to summon his president, this has never occurred. While Wu may sense a trap, Cao Kun has already informed the emperor that himself and Wu will present themselves to Imperial Majesty later that week. Hold on a sec, I think someone's knocking on my door. Thought I was sorry about that. Thought it was a package being delivered. So, while Wu is attempting to, later that week, damn you, Cao Kun, Siam has a new constitution. Wu and Cao prepared to meet Puyi. After arriving from Luoyang, Wu berated Cao for essentially inviting them into a trap. Still, the Jade Marshal is not one to go into a meeting like this without a trump card up his sleeve. As the two men prepare to enter the hall, Wu orders his bodyguards to wait outside the entrance to the chambers. The ceremonial bodyguards outside are unarmed, except for traditional swords, and the Gili soldiers have hidden pistols within their pockets. They enter the hall. Guards rush into the hall. As the two men enter, kneel before the emperor. Around a dozen heavily armed Manchu guards rush into the room. Surrounding the emperor, they move forward in an attempt to arrest the two men, while Puyi flees the room. Upon hearing the commotion, Wu's bodyguards outside quickly dispatch the ceremonial guards and rush in, while Wu and Cao duck behind pillars to avoid getting hit. Bullets fly back and forth among the ancient pillars of the hall, smashing priceless artifacts and wounding Cao Kun. When the bullets stop, however, one side emerges victorious. And so you can make your decision here. We're going to say Wu and Cao are killed. The coup succeeds. There it is. The emperor asserts himself. Puyi nervously re-enters the room, gazing down at the bullet-riddled bodies of the former Jade Marshal and his Emperor President Cao Kun. Puyi and another small group of Manchu guardsmen enter as well, all carrying submachine guns. Dearest brother, I believe it's time for you to make a speech. Puyi turns from the corpses and looks at Puyi. He begins, his voice uncertain. I'm not sure if I can do that. Puyi is about to say something when General Li Bingji, leader of the Gili deserters, bursts into the room. My lord, the city is secure, he says, kowtowing almost to the ground facing Puyi. But Jiang Biali and several other Gili generals have retreated to Luoyang. They are planning to launch a campaign to destroy us and liberate Beijing. Puyi moves over to Puyi and whispers in his ear. You are the emperor now. You must act like one. Puyi nervously attempts to gather himself. I, the Shuangtong Emperor, Son of Heaven, formally proclaim any members of the Gili clique who do not swear fealty to me by tomorrow. His voice cracks and he is forced to steady himself. who do not do so by tomorrow noon to be traitors to the great Qing. Death to traitors. And now we have something new here. Jiangxi has joined the Qing sphere following the auto coup carried out by Puyi with the aid of the Jiangxi clique. Yan Jishan has intervened against the remnants of the Zhili clique, formally aligning himself with Beijing. So if we look here, there you have it. Now, the Prosperity League dissolves. Following our recent upheavals, the Prosperity League has abruptly dissolved, citing a hostile atmosphere with many of their prominent lobbyists leaving for Tianjin. So you can see they're at 0%, and that's why I wasn't taking any of the decisions to reduce their influence. We were going to really reduce things by getting rid of Wu. While the German legation remains in Beijing, they have cut themselves off from any government contact, robbing us of German military and industrial support. The people, however, are overwhelmingly in favor of this move and are praising the new government for ridding itself of foreign influences. We don't need them. Plus 50 political power. We're starting to dig ourselves out of this mess. Alright, the Imperial Coup. Details are unclear, but following a presumed coup in the Forbidden City this morning, Emperor Puyi emerged, flanked by his brother Puji and former Zhili General Li Bingji, a noted monarchist. The Emperor has just escaped an attempt on his life from the Zhili rats, the prince loudly declared to a group of reporters as Puyi stood motionless, either serenely calm or paralyzed with fear. Wu Piefu and his German lackeys have poisoned our country for the last 3 decades. Death to the Zhili! Several minutes later, the lifeless bodies of Wu and Cao Kun were thrown into the street, where they were ripped apart by an angry mob burning effigies of the Kaiser. Long live the Emperor! Now, we have a brand new focus tree, as you can see. We must begin by securing the North China Plain. While the forces loyal to the coup control Beijing and the areas surrounding the Baoding Military Academy, the rest of our territory remains under the control of traitorous Zhili warlords. We need to first secure the northern frontier, eliminating the Zhili garrisons there before turning our eyes south. So we'll get a couple of cores. Some places won't be demilitarized. So basically, we're gonna take the up here, and we are now officially the Manchu Party. We are social conservatives. Of course, our units had to move because of half the army defecting. So now we will go ahead and start placing them out. Wait. Yeah, start sending these out. Great. And also, let's see, put some planes in reserve here. Get training, which I should have been doing this a while ago. Okay, let's let some time pass. Ooh, very quickly the oil starts to go, the fuel. Alright, and so we've got some options here. We can go with the Sierra, the YCP, or the Manchu Party. I'm probably going to do the Manchu Party. I guess I could look around. Social Democrats, Social Democracy, War Support, Infrastructure. Infrastructure can get built faster, and our partisans are stronger. Our allies send aid. Our noble allies have sent us aid to help defeat the traitorous Zhili remnants hiding in the south. So that aid is interpreted as 75 political power, because you need political power to do this. You see, the Civil War is enacted through this series of decisions that are 25 each. So they're giving us 75. Of course, we're still a ways away from having the political power, but it's a start. Okay, so anyway, destroy leftists. These are those social liberals. Social liberals are... Ooh, got 3 military factories. There's political power here. If we go here, though, we get the political power early. Default on debt. It's going to hurt us for a year. It's fine. Imperial Road Project. Division organization up. We get the Mandate of Heaven. I'm probably gonna. Yeah, I think we're doing the Manchu. But I especially want to see what because we want the coronation. Yeah. What's going on here? Oh yeah, it's already open. Okay, so we can't do this because we haven't defeated the Zhili revenants. So this left and the center branch are cut off for us. So we'll just start working on rebuilding our command structure, which gives us a little army experience. And get rid of our deepening leadership crisis, which is what hurts our division organization. So, The civil war against the Zhili remnants left our high command in tatters. Few of those who remain have much loyalty, and divisions exist independent of the overall order of battle. We must immediately reorganize our forces if we wish to avoid inviting an attack. After we've done this, I might actually not take anything for a little while, because we've got 2 branches to go down here. We can either look to our past, which is going to give us a bonus to land doctrine, or I could do the foreigners against foreigners. I think I am going to. While the German scum polluted our nation with their delusional ideals of racial superiority, few denied their military prowess. We should seek out non-aligned foreign agents to help train our military, even if this slightly contradicts our new anti-concession stance. A prepared military is worth a few angry individuals. It's going to cost us 100 political power and some stability, but the hiring advisors will allow us to get some different bonuses. So we can get, basically, I think one of them, for example, I only explored a little bit, so I don't know a ton about this tree and the details of it yet, but one of them is supposed to be that we can get Russian advisors that'll give us a land doctrine bonus, so every time we take that, we get it, so we can start going through the land doctrine tree very, very quickly. Theory. No more Black Monday hitting us. That's cool. Alright, let's see. Who do we have for our field marshal these days? I suppose we'll make it Li Bingji. Yeah. Even though Lu Jingting is actually better. You know, yeah, we're gonna go with him. Yeah, he's just better. Not so much with the supply, but he's got the infantry officer, so he's gonna gain experience faster. Although he's also politically connected, so that slows things down. A graduate of both the Baoding Academy and the Japanese Army Sergeant School, Lu was originally a subordinate governor in Sun Chuofang's League of Eight Provinces, but Lu's open disdain for Sun's cooperation with Germany and his hatred of foreign concessions led to his dismissal by Sun. He instead chose to work with Wu Peifu instead. He has worked closely with Jing, radical Buddhists in Mongolia, fun stuff. With Zheng Bayali in drafting plans to deal with the Japanese invasion, as the only thing he despises more than the Germans is Japanese domination over Manchuria. Still maintains contact with many former subordinates in the League. Information gained from them is passed on to Wu and the rest of the Northern Zhili, giving them an inside look into Sun's government. Yeah, he's our only infantry officer, really. Oh, Puji just became a field marshal. He becomes one. Oh, I guess he just. Well. Okay, then he'll be our field marshal, so we're going to trade things off. I know I just promoted this guy, but whatever. Alright, so Lu Jingting will be our main general. Call this the Imperial Army. I'll rename it later when I have enough troops to have more than 20 divisions. Best I can. Let's also change this color, I'm not a fan. Okay, yellow is a little better. Also not a fan of this. Jellyfish. Okay. Should I get these? Yeah, I suppose it wouldn't hurt. Let's have him do some Navy exercises. Oh no, there goes the fuel. Real fast. Never mind. Rebuilding our command structure. Following the purge of many senior members of the Zhili clique, our army has been left without much of a command structure. It has fallen on Ling Bingji, one of the few Zhili deserters, and 2 Aisingiro princes, Zai Tao and the Emperor's brother Pujie, to reform the imperial command structure. This will not be an easy task, as Wu and his cronies essentially did away with a modern divisional structure based on meritorious promotion in favor of cronyism and nepotism. While the reforms will take time to implement, they have decided to fill out the thin roster of senior commanders with Feng Zhijian and Lian Bang, 2 young Baoding candidates who helped overthrow the Zhili. Though inexperienced, with any luck, they will learn quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna wait just a couple of days here before I take the next focus. Prince Hui requests a commission. Aisingiro Jaiju, Prince Hui, formerly Navy Minister during the cabinet of 1911, has come to us with a request. Following the promotion of the young coup backers from the Baoding Academy, he requests a full naval commission. While it is true many of the admirals have lingering Zhili connections, they are mostly loyal to us. Jaijun, despite having traveled extensively to study foreign navies, has never actually commanded a ship in battle. Many are suspicious of his ability to actually lead warship. Okay, so let me look this guy up. I'm trying to. I don't think that this does not seem like a familiar name. I see Zai Jun. I don't... It says he's a member of the family. Of course, Flame, Fang, and the team are going to know this stuff better than I do. Okay, here we go. Zhaijin, Prince Rui. Oh, there's like a... No, this is Yijuan. This is somebody else entirely. This was the picture I was looking at. No, that's not him. Just a second, guys. Prince Rui. Okay, he was a Manchu noble and a navy minister historically. Oh, he's basically a cousin. A half cut. What the heck? Okay, I'm looking at this family tree here. So this Zaijun, who's asking for a commission, was the 6th son of Prince Chun, who was half an uncle of Puyi. And he... Oh, okay, got it. So he's a cousin. He's basically a cousin. Although he was adopted. Oh, so he wasn't even a blood relative. Looks like he wasn't even important enough to either be imprisoned or killed or have anything done with him after the revolution happened in 1911. Well, in any case, he's a Manchu. We're going to promote him. And in fact, let's put him in charge of our navy here. Yeah, Jaiju, old guard. Unlikely to cause trouble. Dang, he sucks. Let's put him in charge until we actually want to make a navy for real. Nepotism. What could go wrong? Alright, what I was saying is, I want to save up some money until we can at least push for the, do this initial push for the Yellow River. Indochina has declared independence. I suppose we want them to win. Anything that hurts Germany is good for us, but we might have our own plans to go into Indochina. So, we're getting almost 2 a day. It's just going to take a couple of weeks to get as much as I want here. Yeah, we'll be... I know I'm committing a cardinal sin by not taking a focus, but I think it's the right call. Xinjiang clique is blowing up. I need to choose what I want to do. I'm actually kind of tempted to do the mobile warfare. Be a little different. More than a little different. Chinese tanks. Let's go, let's go. Let's hit 25, please. 3. Another day or two should do it. There it is. The first step in our Reconquest involves pushing to the Yellow River and destroying all Zhili garrisons up to the bank. With this completed, we can focus on the heart of the campaign, Luoyang. So we're going to lose 50,000 manpower. Daily command power gain is going to go down. And we'll get a couple cores. Authoritarian Democrats will be less popular. Well, they're already at 0. So hopefully some of it just gets redistributed to me properly. Did we just see a change there? Did you guys see that? The Ying one, like right now while I was looking, it changed. Alright. So we're gonna... Whoops. We are gonna do foreigner against foreigner, like I was saying. It's gonna take just 56 days while the German scum polluted our nation with their delusional ideas of racial superiority. Few denied their military prowess. We should seek out... Yeah, we already saw this, so... A couple intellectuals are gonna moan about it, but we'll be okay. Come on. Alright, victory! Reports have returned to the Imperial Palace that the troops have reached the Yellow River. The scattered Zhili garrisons around Beijing proved to be little match for the Baoding-led armies, and General Zaitao Manchu assisted in harrying retreating Zhili troops as they attempted to flee to Luoyang. Many troops simply deserted to our forces, as the thought of serving a leaderless army with little concentrated political backing does not really appeal. Our forces are now ready to begin an assault on Luoyang, Wu Peifu's stronghold, currently being defended by forces under General Jiang Baili, who's second in command. Securing this fortress will be the beginning of the end for the Zhili clique. Long live the Son of Heaven! Now, moving on. Assault on Luoyang. I'm trying to assault it. Come on. I'm trying to read the thing. Here we go. The headquarters of Wu Peifei before his defeat. Now many Zhili generals have retreated there, bringing many of their personal militias with them. Securing this fortress will be till victory for monument till victory for our cause. We're gonna lose. Same. It's gonna be the same basically each time. We get a core, we get political power, and we lose command power as well as popularity of the authoritarian Democrats. Not that it matters, because as I said before, they're already at 0. Yeah, here's that East Turkestan stuff going down. How's the let's see how the plane's doing. All trained up. Great. Take long. That'll only take me several years to get the fuel I need. Victory in Luoyang! A telegram arrived this morning from Luoyang confirming that our troops were victorious in storming the walls of the fortified city. Following hours of concentrated artillery bombardments, loyal troops crossed the river in impromptu barges, sustaining heavy fire. Once ashore, however, they quickly secured control over a beachhead, allowing more and more of our troops to land and begin attacking Zhili units garrisoned in the city. Fighting among the ancient grotto and temples that dot the city, our troops eventually stormed the Zhili headquarters, killing Jiang Biali. Other generals managed to escape, and Zhili troops have scattered throughout the surrounding countryside, looting and pillaging even as they flee our forces. Long live the Son of Heaven. Time to mop up isolated garrisons. With the fall of Luoyang, we can now focus on destroying isolated garrisons across former Zhili territory. This will be time-consuming, but securing Jiangxi, Hubei, and other provinces will be essential in consolidating our rule. Okay. Working on the foreigner against foreigner thing. I'm just gonna, and then after this, we'll do the final push, and I'll call it a day on this episode. Quite a bit of progress has been made. Now we can actually focus on how things are gonna go. I think we're gonna switch these. No. Wait a minute here. Okay. Yeah. We have tons of artillery, so we're going to do the 7.2s. Might regret that one later. 5 more days there. Yeah. Industry. Really going hard on the industry. Victory in the south. The last few weeks have seen intense fighting across the southern reaches of our territory, as the die-hard supporters of Wu Peifu and the Zhili clique were hunted down and destroyed. Especially vicious was the fighting on our routes leading into Wuhan. The last remnants of the Zhili command prepared to organize a desperate last stand in the ancient city. With the isolated garrisons destroyed, we can turn our eyes onto securing the city and destroying the Zhili once and for all. Long live the Son of Heaven! And for the final push, the last remnants of the Zhili have... Yeah, it's pretty... They're not going to be lucky. We will destroy these traitors and ensure that China is ours. Good. But we also have 100 political power. Like I've always say, spend it when you got it. We're up to partial mobilization now. Fantastic stuff. Good. A few more days to go. Well, just the 5 army experience, though. And now, Sheng Qing and Left Kuomintang fight. Victory in Wuchang! In a final all-out assault, our forces, bolstered by ranks of Zhili deserters, finally stormed Wuhan, destroying the remaining Zhili forces and capturing or killing many senior Zhili generals. With victory finally secured, we can now start to focus on rebuilding our country and rearing it from both the ravages of the conflict we just endured and the decades of rampant corruption we were subjected to under the Zhili. Long live the Son of Heaven! So we no longer get this civil war bit that was hurting our stability and production efficiency caps. So look at that, we're at a whopping 25% stability. Wow! What do we even do with all that stability? Alright, in the next episode, we're going to be done with the foreigner against foreigner. We're allowed to then form an emergency government, or we could choose our new benefactor. We certainly have... I don't think we can actually change... yeah, I don't know how this path works exactly. But in the next episode, we can... now that we're almost through the first year of the game, we can actually start thinking about, okay, what do we do about our army? What are we going to do about our society? And things like that. Obviously the wars have already begun out here in the former provinces. Still anybody's game what's going to happen. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.